Hi, I'm Jared Falk, and today we're going to talk about some intermediate ghost note patterns. Now, if you haven't already checked out, please go to drumlessons.com, if you're not there already, and watch the beginner lesson on ghost notes. Unless you feel comfortable with some of the stuff I was doing there in the intro, because that's kind of what we're going to discuss in this lesson. So let's just look at exercise 1. We have a ghost note on the E of 1, and then an accent on count 2, and then we have a ghost note right after the accent. Okay, so this is the first thing I want to talk about, is playing an accented note, something hard. Accented note is that we're going to hit the drum harder than we normally do, and then we go straight to a ghost note, which is quiet, okay? More felt than heard. And so this is something I really struggled with when I was first working on ghost notes. And so what I did is I just practiced doing an accent and then a quiet note. Basically a downstroke, which starts high, finishes low, and then a tap stroke. So here we go. All right, so you're going to want to practice it with both hands. Even though you're primarily playing ghost notes in the snare with your left hand, you're still going to want to practice that with your right hand because the technique is applicable everywhere on the drums, not only when we're doing ghost notes, all right? And so that's kind of the main theme throughout this lesson, okay? Especially the first two exercises. The last one, we're getting to some 16th note triplet doubles. So we'll talk about that when we get there. But basically, I just want to play this one for you guys at 70 beats per minute so you can hear exactly how the ghost notes sound in relation to the accent, and you can also see exactly what is happening here with the left hand to actually perform the loud stroke and then a quiet stroke right afterwards. It's a 16th note afterwards, so it comes quite quickly. Let me show you guys how it sounds. All right, so performing the technique, going from a loud hit to a ghosted note, isn't necessarily the hard thing, but actually playing it right in time with a click track, that can be the hard part, and especially when you're playing different note values. Sometimes you'll be doing that as 16th note triplets, sometimes you'll be doing it as 32nd notes, and in these exercises, we're just doing it as 16th notes. So it's important to have that control, the control to be able to change the note value and, exactly when the stick rebounds, how fast it rebounds, and then when you actually perform the ghosted tap stroke. All right, so now let me play it for you guys at 120 beats per minute, and this is the true challenge on whether or not you got this technique down of accenting down to a ghost note. Here we go. All right, so what you don't want to hear is something like this. So now let's look at number 2. We're basically taking it up another notch, and we're adding ghost notes in on the ah of 1 and the ah of 3. So this is going to add a whole new dynamic, because now what we're doing is we're doing a soft note, a loud note, and then another soft note. And you're going to see, especially when we start speeding it up, going from the upstroke on the ah of 1 down to the accent and then to the tap stroke, that's where the challenge is going to be. So just like we worked on the accented note to the tap stroke, we want to work on doing that sequence of the upstroke to the downstroke to the tap stroke, just on its own. All right, here we go. All right, so that's going to be the challenge in this groove. So just start out really, really slow. I'm going to play it for you guys at 70, and then we'll do it at 120. And you can see how when I'm playing it slower, the motions, they're more exaggerated. I'm doing bigger motions. But as soon as you get faster, those motions start to shrink. And you have to, because they were playing 16th notes. We'll be playing 16th notes at 120 beats per minute. So it's just going to be a lot more challenging, and it's going to be really quick and really difficult. It's still hard for me, but this is a great exercise to practice to work on ghost notes. I know a lot of you guys have been asking me on Facebook. If you don't go there, facebook.com/drumlessons.com. But a lot of you have been asking me there about ghost notes and on my personal Facebook page, and so I really wanted to kind of give you a challenge and give you something that you could take back to your kit and actually work on, and it'll actually help you get technically better at playing ghost notes. So let's try this one at 70 beats per minute. All right, so this is something I still work on to get better at playing ghost notes. So it's not something we're just going to do until you get the groove and say, okay, now I know how to play ghost notes at an intermediate level. Well, you constantly need to work on it. You constantly need to perfect the timing, the accuracy, and that whole feel of the groove. Because that's where these are going to be noticed the most, is when you're playing with other musicians. If you're playing this cool ghost note pattern, the people listening aren't necessarily going to hear it, nor are they going to have the appreciation for it that the musicians playing along with you will have. So really perfect it for that reason, just to make all the music that you're playing sound really, really good. All right, what we're doing in the final groove is something completely different, and we're adding in some 16th note triplet partials. All right, and so you could consider these a drag, on the left hand, but I actually usually perform both strokes with the wrist, and I don't always bounce it, just because I like to get maximum control, and I like each ghost note to sound exactly the same, for the most part, because that's what I want. So basically, what we want to practice for this is the timing, okay? Now, before I was talking to you guys about learning the timing in the left hand, so to be able to play 16th note triplet ghost notes and 32nd note ghost notes, and even 16th note ghost notes, right? We need to have that control. So what I'd practice here is I would just practice count number 2. So it goes 2, 3 enda, 2, 3 enda, 2, 3 enda, 2, 3 enda. Okay, so let me just play that for you guys. Okay, and so this groove repeats itself. What we're playing for count 1 and count 2, we're also playing for count 3 and count 4. So all you need to do is basically learn 2 counts, and you've learned the whole actual groove. All right, so let me play this for you guys at 70 beats per minute. So you'll notice when I play the tempo of 120 beats per minute, I'm not using the wrist to create those 2 strokes. I'm actually just dropping the stick once and then pulling up with my fingers to get the 2 16th note triplets ghost notes in there. Okay? And so that's something you have to work on. You know, it's something you have to just start slow and slowly progress faster. And you'll be amazed, like if you guys practice this, and it might take a couple months, but if you work hard on it and you slow up, you know, 5 to 10 BPM every day, you'd be surprised at, you know, how fast you would get faster, if that makes any sense. So I really wanted to teach you the 16th note triplet partials because in the advanced lesson, we're going to be doing some stuff that is going to require this knowledge. So take this back to your kit, work on it, and then check out the advanced lesson on drumlessons.com. And I'll see you guys in the next video.